Welcome back, friends, to your Techhandy channel. Please like and subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to timely get new video updates. In this demonstration, we'll outline some of the key differences between the server core and the server with desktop experience options in Windows Server 2022. Then we'll take a look at installing Windows Server 2022 on VMware Workstation as a virtual machine. The first difference, of course, the most obvious feature in that the desktop experience offers the full graphical user interface, or the standard Windows desktop so to speak, whereas the server core only has a minimal interface that relies on command line environments for interacting with the system, such as PowerShell, the command prompt, and the sconfig utility. The ability to install just the server core is by no means not new for version 2022. It's been an option for quite some time now, so if you've been working with Windows Server at all with previous versions, you may already be familiar with systems that are running the core installation only. While a server with no graphical user interface might seem counterintuitive or even intimidating to new users, it is in fact the recommended installation option for several reasons which we'll come to in just a moment. One of the key reasons why is the ability to use the Microsoft Management Console for performing administrative tasks. Now, the Management Console itself is not installed on systems running server core. Again, systems running core are configured using the command line environments, but the MMC is built into systems running the desktop experience, which means that if you have even one server with the full desktop experience installed, then you can use that instance of the MMC to create a fully graphic administrative environment and use it to connect to and administer systems running server core. In other words, you can remotely administer the server core system from any other system using the tools that are available in the MMC, because almost all tools can be used to administer either the local system on which the MMC is running or any other system on the network. So, even though the server core system itself has no graphical interface, it can still be administered graphically by using the MMC from any other system. So ultimately, if you're performing most or even all of your administrative tasks from the same local system, the experience is no different, regardless of whether the target system has the desktop experience or not. So then, as for some of the reasons why the server core is the preferred installation option. For starters, it reduces the overall attack surface of the operating system because the full desktop experience requires more services and processes to run, and from a security perspective, any additional service or process represents a potential vulnerability. The more processes running on a server, the more likely it is to become compromised. With the full desktop experience running, it offers no such reduction, at least in its default state. In other words, there are still steps that you can take to harden that server, but it still has to run some processes that the core version just doesn't need. So, core is inherently a more secure installation. Since there is no graphic user interface, of course, the core installation also requires less disk space, which can save not only space but time as well, particularly when deploying images. And because of the reduced processes and services, it also requires fewer updates, which further helps to reduce disk space requirements post-installation and also results in time savings, yet again by not having to manage as many updates on server core instances. Server core installations also support most of the same roles as those that can be added to the desktop experience, and those roles are typically added, removed, and configured locally by using PowerShell. Now, of course, roles can also be added and managed on systems running the desktop experience using PowerShell, but you can also use the Server Manager utility, which might make role management a little easier. In any case, the choice is yours, and I will say that for many users the desktop experience is more user-friendly. But when the server is mostly administered remotely anyway, which is the case for most servers, then it's certainly worth considering the use of server core as often as possible. Let's get started with downloading Server 2022 ISO file. You will find the Server ISO Microsoft download link in the video description. Select the language and hit the ISO download option. That will start the download. ISO file download will depend upon your network connection. Wait for ISO file to download and open the VMware Workstation. Select Create a new virtual machine and follow the screen instructions. Select I will install the operating system later, so as a start it's effectively a bare metal virtual machine. Then guest operating system as Windows Server 2022. Give your virtual machine a meaningful name. For this video demonstration I am installing Datacenter Server 2022. Assign resource to your server according to your lab requirements. You can change most of resource configurations later as well if needed. We need to boot our virtual machine from download Windows Server 2022 ISO file, go to Edit Settings, under CD/DVD option, browse and attach the ISO file. So, with all of that in place, we can just go ahead and start the virtual machine and we'll just press any key to boot from DVD. And there we see the files are loading, which basically would look exactly as it would if you were booting from a physical DVD on an actual or physical computer. The first page of the installation simply wants us to choose the language, the time and currency format, and the keyboard or input method. All of those are fine in my case, so I'll just go ahead and click on Next, and really all we have to do is click on Install Now, and it will go through most of the installation process. So, this particular ISO provides us with two different editions, Standard and Datacenter. Then you have the choice for the desktop experience, which, of course, simply installs the graphic user interface, as opposed to the core version which is only administered and configured through a command prompt or PowerShell. So, I'm going to go with the Datacenter edition with the desktop experience, so we'll choose that one, and click on Next. Of course, we have to accept the software license terms, so we can just accept that and click on Next. We do want, in this case, a custom install because we aren't upgrading anything. This again is effectively a bare metal system. So, we'll choose custom and we'll just go with the drive as it is. I just went with a very default configuration. There is a single drive configured which is currently unallocated and it has 100 GB of free space. It is going to go ahead and complete the installation now by copying all the files, getting the files ready for installation, installing the features, installing updates, and finishing the setup. We'll just go ahead and let this finish. That will take maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So our installation has completed and the only additional thing that needed to be configured is the password for the local administrator account, which we're going to set up now. This system is now ready to go. We can just click on the Ctrl-Alt-Delete button here to sign in and I can supply the password to log into the server. After first login, the most important thing you have to do is to install VMware tools. This will help machine running smooth. Let's go ahead and follow the screen instructions to install them quickly. System will require reboot upon installation completion. Basically, the installation has now completed. Of course, there are many configurations that you will need to perform after the installation depending on the roles that you want the server to perform. But as far as the installation itself is concerned, it's a relatively simple process. Again, if you are working with a virtual machine, just make sure that you have some of those settings configured correctly, make sure you have the ISO mapped for a DVD drive, and basically begin your installation just as you would as if it were a physical system. And that's the process for installing Windows Server 2022. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe to support the channel efforts.